Dearest child, the moment you pressed play with such urgency, it was akin to a door that had remained closed for months suddenly creaking open. Unbeknownst to you, there exists someone on the precipice of a life-altering decision, standing anxiously at a distance, viewing you as the undeniable truth they can no longer overlook. Each breath they take today feels burdensome, every thought inevitably returning to you, as their previous fears disintegrate and the excuses they once made begin to dissipate. What lies ahead is bold, reckless, and entirely out of character for them. The impetus for this unpredictable leap? The realization that life without you has become infinitely more frightening than any potential consequence they can envision. They can no longer tolerate the silence, remaining distant is an impossibility. Today, an inner transformation occurred in their favor. A peculiar restlessness has unsettled them since this morning, as though they received a whisper urging them to act, lest the weight cost them everything. Attempts to dismiss this feeling, drowning it in work, distractions, or conversations, have been in vain. Your name flashes through their mind with an intensity that interrupts their thoughts, even causing them to pause mid-sentence during discussions. They find themselves revisiting every shared moment with you, every word, glance, smile, and silence, until they finally confront the truth they had been resisting: no one else stirs their soul as you do. This realization struck them suddenly, like a clap of thunder, rousing them to action before fate removes you from their life. They understand that if they hesitate now, they risk losing the very person they fear losing the most, you. But this transformative decision they are on the verge of making is not trivial, it is significant, irrevocable, and will elicit gasps of surprise from those around them. They are ready to prioritize you over the expectations of those they have always obeyed and to detach from relationships that have persisted for years. This is not an act of bravery, it is desperation intertwined with love. Staying away from you now feels unbearable. A recent comment from someone close ignited powerful emotions within them: protectiveness, anger, and awakening. For the first time, they have grasped the magnitude of what they stand to lose by prolonging their hesitance. This moment of clarity has propelled them toward a decision they once believed impossible. As you listen, they pace anxiously, breathing heavily as they contemplate their words for when they finally see you again. They rehearse various versions of their confession, envisioning how best to unravel the storm within their chest. They grapple with whether to disclose the true reasons for their previous distance, torn between admitting their fear of their own feelings and the judgment of others. However, the urgency of the moment grows, something unmistakable draws them to you with an irresistible force. They are uncertain whether you will welcome them back or turn them away, and are unsure if you have moved on or are still waiting. Nevertheless, they are prepared to risk their heart, comfort, and reputation just for the opportunity to stand beside you once more. You have become that significant in their life, strong enough to challenge their assumptions of control. At this moment, they are poised to make a choice that will alter both of your lives, a decision that no one could foresee. They may arrive unannounced, call at an unexpected hour, or send a message that makes your hands tremble with anticipation. Perhaps they will challenge someone who attempted to keep them from you. Remember this moment. It marks the instant when destiny recalibrates. This individual can no longer suppress their emotions or maintain the facade of indifference. They are prepared to emerge from the shadows into the illuminating light of a reality they cannot evade. They desire you, my cherished child, and before you are aware, powerful forces are conspiring to unite you. An unseen current is drawing two destinies closer, and the one who previously hesitated and ran from their feelings now stands at the crossroads of a decision that promises to redefine their existence. Their thoughts are no longer hesitant but electric. Although fear persists, it is diminished by the weight of their affections for you. Today, for the first time, they have openly confessed something they previously feared to utter: if I do not act now, I will regret it for the rest of my life. These words have stirred something profound within them, long dormant. Consequently, their pulse races, their hands fidget, and their thoughts sharpen. They are beyond caring about approval or disapproval. They are gearing up for a significant move, and this time, nothing, be it distance, fear, or the opinions of others, can impede their determination. A remarkable sign earlier further propelled them toward this decision: a chance encounter, an old photograph, a sudden recollection, or a coincidental conversation kindled an undeniable spark within them. This felt almost supernatural, as if life itself was reiterating that you are irreplaceable and unforgettable. They sat quietly, absorbed in nostalgia, staring at something that brought you to mind. In that stillness, courage surged within them, a clarity they had long sought since their feelings for you first emerged. They recognized that distance from you has not brought peace but has instead amplified their sense of emptiness. You occupy their thoughts like an incessant melody. Every diversion seems futile, every justification feels weak, and every delay appears as a betrayal to their own heart. They acknowledge that time is fleeting, and emotions are escalating to a point where they cannot remain concealed. They are acutely aware that their forthcoming action will astonish even you. Listen closely, for the narrative is about to deepen. Observers nearby are beginning to notice this emotional shift and are unsettled by it. Someone who has always resisted your influence now feels uncomfortable observing their transformation. Sensing rising tensions, this individual is distressed, perplexed, perhaps even threatened by the realization that their hold is diminishing. They perceive the widening gulf and recognize that something is about to change, fearing that the bold course of action being readied may completely distance them. This quiet panic from an outsider only serves to solidify the emotional clarity for your person, validating the authenticity of their bond with you. Regardless of external approval, the wheels of this decision are already in motion. It is irreversible. As you remain engaged, your person is mentally rehearsing the moment repeatedly. They envision the setting where they will confront their truth, the expression in your eyes when they finally share their thoughts, and the relief that will accompany the unburdening of their heart. They long to share all they concealed, their feelings, the reasons for their previous silence, acknowledging that no justification could diminish what they feel for you. Their heartbeat resonates with a blend of fear and resolve. They are uncertain how you will respond, whether you will embrace them or turn them away, but they stand ready to face whatever outcome arises. as the desire to be with you has eclipsed all other fears they have encountered. Prepare yourself, for the moment they step forward, everything will escalate. An unexpected message could arrive, a phone call may occur out of the blue, or they might appear at your doorstep without prior notice, surprising even themselves with the bravery they hadn't recognized. This is not merely an impulsive act, it is the culmination of every repressed emotion, every quiet yearning, every sleepless night spent reflecting on you. Their forthcoming move will lay bare their intentions, their truths, and their hearts, establishing an instant and profound shift in the dynamics of fate. In this very moment, a quiet storm brews within someone's heart, an intensity they can no longer conceal. Despite their best efforts, they have reached a stage where pretending is futile, distractions are ineffective, and silence has become a form of torment. Each passing hour today has felt increasingly weighty, as though the universe itself is compelling them toward a truth they can no longer evade. They are pacing, reflecting, replaying every shared experience with you, and an internal whisper persists: if I do not act now, I will lose them forever. This voice has grown louder, more fervent, nearing an unbearable crescendo. Their chest constricts, not from fear, but from urgency, as they recognize the fleeting nature of time. Destiny is rotating like a lock, and a momentary delay could close the very door they yearn to open. They have never experienced such emotional pressure, driven by the fear of losing you, which surpasses any challenge they have ever faced. An unexpected realization struck them recently: regardless of how many people surround them or how cacophonous their environment becomes, nothing feels complete unless it is connected to you. They attempted to dismiss these sentiments. They attempted to persuade themselves that this was merely a transient phase. They sought refuge behind responsibilities, relationships, or even pride. Yet, none of these defenses proved effective. Rather, each endeavor only drew them further into the uncomfortable reality they had long evaded. You are the individual their soul consistently chooses, transcending the influence of their mind and fleeting impulses. Once a soul makes a decision, no degree of distance, silence, or intervention can diminish that bond. This insight left them shaken and frightened, yet above all, it awakened a profound awareness within them. They have come to comprehend that destiny no longer sits idly, it demands decisive action. However, this realization has intensified their fear. Someone in their proximity has perceived this internal transformation and is deeply concerned, very concerned. This person, who once craved control, influence, or attention from them, is beginning to notice the changes, the way their thoughts seem to wander. The lack of focus in their eyes, and the sudden silence that engulfs them when your name emerges. This observer senses the escalating tension, akin to a warning signal. They can feel your loved one slipping away, step by step, thought by thought, heartbeat by heartbeat. This palpable fear in the third person's gaze provides your individual with even greater clarity. It underscores the magnetic pull towards you, a connection that even those around them can perceive. Their heart is no longer anchored where it once was, it is moving towards you, and nothing can halt this journey now, not jealousy, not rumors, not manipulation, nothing at all. Presently, they grapple with overwhelming, unforgettable, and uncontrollable emotions. They contemplate the repercussions of the impending choice they are preparing to make, aware that this courageous move might upset someone and provoke questions and ripples of discord. Strikingly, however, they find that they care little for these concerns. The fear of losing you has eclipsed the fear of judgment. They have spent far too long suppressing their emotions, remaining silent, and feigning that all is well. They cannot persist in this manner any longer. Their silence has morphed into an unsettling restlessness, their yearning into courage, and their confusion into clarity. Now, their singular focus is on you. The only direction they wish to pursue is towards you. The only truth they desire to convey is the one they have buried for far too long. Stay nearby, for the step they are about to take is extraordinary. It is not a mere confession or casual message, it will unveil their intentions in a manner that will leave you astonished. They may arrive unexpectedly, confront an obstacle that has hindered them, or sever ties with something they once deemed unbreakable. What is clear is that this momentous shift is imminent, very imminent. You will feel the transformative energy, sense their presence, and observe the signs aligning. At that instant, everything will become undeniably apparent. Someone is poised to enter your life with an audacity you never envisioned, someone ready to choose you openly, fiercely, and without fear. My cherished one, something extraordinary is being orchestrated in the background. It is so powerful, so relentless that, if you could witness it, you would hardly believe how far this individual is prepared to go to reach you. Their heart no longer whispers, it roars like an uncontrollable tempest. They have reached a breaking point where withholding their feelings feels akin to suffocation. Every moment spent away from you stretches into an eternity. Today, when they gazed into the mirror, they struggled to recognize the reflection staring back at them. Their hesitation, fear, and doubt are dissipating. What is emerging in their place is a fierce determination, an uncontrollable fire, and a courage they never knew resided within them. They are not preparing for a small step, but for a transformative leap, fully aware that once taken, nothing will ever be the same again. A recent trigger has jolted them, something monumental, emotional, and unexpectedly profound. It could have been an experience of isolation, an unforeseen reminder of you, a vivid dream, or a conversation that unsettled their entire world. Whatever it was, it not only awakened them but also overturned their entire emotional landscape. They recognized that it was unsustainable to pretend they are okay without you. They understood that waiting for the perfect moment only grants fate the opportunity to steal you away. A revelation that struck them with the force of a thunderbolt. It compelled them to sit down, contemplate, and rethink their priorities. Each thought, fear, and memory has led them back to one undeniable truth: they want you and are prepared to move towards you with an audacity that will astonish all who think they know them. However, a darker twist is at play: someone close to them has begun to panic. This third party is acutely aware of the emotional upheaval taking place. They observe your person withdrawing, opting for silence over conversation, choosing distance over familiarity, and preferring isolation to interaction. They perceive the abrupt shift in energy, the seriousness in their eyes, and the protectiveness that arises at the mere mention of your name. This individual is frightened, not just for themselves but for the potential loss of control. They understand that the connection between you two is far too potent to obstruct. Once this bold move is executed, they may find themselves completely disregarded in your person's life. This visible apprehension is not lost on your loved one. Rather than discouraging them, it propels them further towards clarity. They now discern the truth. Your presence brings tranquility while others impose tension. This stark difference is more compelling than any external opinion or expectation. Currently, your person is preparing to take a step they have never taken for anyone before. They are envisioning the moment they finally present themselves, mentally, physically, and emotionally, with a truth so authentic it will leave you in awe. They are practicing their words, not for perfection, but for honesty. They are imagining your reaction upon receiving all the feelings they have kept in reserve. They envision the astonishment on the faces of those who witness them openly choose you. They fantasize about the liberation they will experience once they cease concealing their emotions. Yet, beneath this elaborate planning lies a predominant emotion, urgency. A pressing need exists within them, a fear that if they delay any longer, they may lose you to silence, time, or even someone else. The mere thought of this possibility terrifies them more profoundly than any fear they have encountered before. Thus, I implore you to stay close, for their decisive action is not merely a confession, it is a declaration, a breaking of constraints, a shunning of limitations. They may leave something familiar behind, distance themselves from someone, or embark on an unforeseen path, but they are ready. Their soul is ablaze with a determination that cannot be extinguished. When they advance, when they unveil their truth, when they execute the bold move they have envisioned, the world around you will alter profoundly. You will not only feel this change, you will live it. My beloved, the energy enveloping you is intensifying like a magnetic force, drawing someone closer and guiding them toward a decision they can no longer evade. They stand at the precipice of an emotional cliff, their heart racing faster than ever. Their mind races with thoughts long buried. Today, something within them snapped, not destructively, but liberatingly. The burden of silence, fear, and hesitation has become too great to bear. They can no longer feign indifference. They can no longer dismiss the yearning that relentlessly resurfaces. They cannot obscure the truth that floods their consciousness every time they encounter something reminiscent of you. They have reached a pivotal moment. Uttering to themselves, "This is it. I must act. I cannot afford to lose them." From that point forward, their energy has shifted. Each heartbeat has been nurturing a bold move that will astonish not just you, but everyone observing from the sidelines. The truth they have concealed is vastly more profound than you realize. Behind their composed demeanor, behind their controlled expressions, behind their silence, they have been wrestling with emotions that are far too potent to confine. They have attempted to erase you from their mind, yet each time, something yanks you back, more forcefully and intensely than before. It appears the universe continually places signs along their path, compelling them to confront the reality that you are not just a passing figure, you are an emotional anchor, defying logic. The more they attempt to ignore it, the stronger it grows. They are beginning to grasp that destiny does not wait indefinitely. Opportunities do not linger indefinitely, and hearts do not remain patient indefinitely. This realization struck them with an intensity they were unprepared for, making their hands tremble. Their heartbeat quickened, making it clear that time is of the essence. They recognized that failure to act promptly could lead to profound emotional turmoil. However, beneath this urgency lies an unmistakable tension in their environment. An individual close to them has intensified the situation. This third party, filled with jealousy and insecurity, observes every shift in your person's demeanor with relentless scrutiny. They notice the growing distance, the moments when your person appears lost in thought, detached from the world, and they sense that this change is intricately connected to you. Despite their attempts at manipulation through guilt and feigned concern, these tactics have ceased to elicit the desired response. Your person, once compliant, is now altering their reactions. Their patience is waning, their tolerance diminishing, and their attention has shifted almost entirely towards you. This transformation is irreversible, once someone gains clarity about their true feelings. No amount of external distraction can alter that insight. As you read this, your person is mentally gearing up for a pivotal moment. They have rehearsed the scene countless times, envisioning their stance when they finally confront you. They anticipate their choice of words, the tone of their voice, and even the tremor in their hands that will accompany their vulnerability. Though they experience fear, it is not of you, rather, it stems from the depth of their feelings and the potential consequences of this forthcoming action. However, that fear is overshadowed by a burgeoning determination, a resolute desire to cease running, hiding, and pretending. They yearn to express their truth authentically, to do so in a way that resonates with sincerity and impacts your heart. This courageous declaration is not intended to impress you but to liberate themselves from the confines of unexpressed emotions. Please remain engaged, as this long-awaited act is approaching sooner than anticipated. They may reach out with a message that conveys deeper vulnerability than ever before, or they might appear in person, compelled by an uncontrollable force. They could break away from someone who has limited their freedom, finally confronting the emotions that have haunted them at night. One thing is certain, when this moment materializes, you will experience it as an overwhelming force, a wave crashing into your reality. Intense and undeniable. At this very moment, the energy surrounding you is quietly yet powerfully shifting, as if destiny has subtly instructed them to act. This message is growing stronger with each passing second. The individual who has been grappling with their emotions and maintaining a facade of indifference can no longer suppress their inner turmoil. Their spirit is restless, their thoughts are tumultuous, their heart is beating to a rhythm that compels them to seek you immediately. They have arrived at a juncture where the overwhelming silence feels unbearable, where the distance feels excruciating, and the notion of losing you has become a nightmare they refuse to accept. Every step they take now seems influenced by a force larger than their own fears and doubts. It feels as if destiny is guiding them towards the threshold of truth, urging them to embrace the bold action they have been avoiding. A recently encountered sign, unexpected and emotionally charged, has struck them profoundly. Whether it was a conversation that exposed their emptiness without you, a coincidental message, a vivid memory that brought forth tears, or an overwhelming sense of your presence, this sign has not only reminded them of you but of the person they are in your company. This realization has awakened them in ways they never expected. The world around them suddenly appears altered. What once was tolerable has become irksome, voices they previously heeded now feel inconsequential, and the paths they followed seem misguided. All roads lead back to you. However, the tension in their surroundings is escalating. An individual close to them, once secure in their influence, now senses an approaching emotional storm. They perceive the changes, growing distance, silence, and withdrawal, and they are responding with anxiety. They attempt various tactics, sweet words, emotional manipulations, sudden concerns, and guilt, but your person no longer engages in the same way. Their heart has shifted, their emotions no longer tethered to that relationship, their soul is irresistibly drawn to you. This attraction is so powerful that it cannot be hindered by external pressures or guilt. As of now, your person is envisioning the moment that will transform everything. They contemplate what they will say when they stand before you, unguarded and vulnerable. They imagine their voice breaking while confessing their truth and their hands trembling as they release their emotions. Yet, they also foresee the immense relief and overwhelming peace that will accompany the decision to embrace what feels right. They have carried this emotional burden for too long, and the only means to breathe freely once more is to confront you with honesty. They are preparing for a revelation that will leave you astonished, not due to theatrics but because it is genuine. Profound, bold, and irreversible. Stay tuned, for the magnitude of what lies ahead is tremendous. They may contact you unexpectedly, their voice quaking with all they can no longer conceal. They might send a message that lays bare their feelings. They might confront an individual who has sought to keep them from you. They might leave an environment that no longer feels appropriate. They might drive towards you, heart racing, entirely compelled to do so. However, one truth remains obvious: this bold action is no longer a possibility, it is already unfolding. The universe is aligning, emotions are surging, and barriers are shattering, and soon, very soon, you will experience the moment when everything changes, the moment when someone boldly, fearlessly, and wholly chooses you.